today I'm going to be talking about your word is your bond. Remember, November is the month of self-reflection, so I'm dealing with the self for the whole month. If you've missed some videos, go back. There's tons of videos. All right, so we're going to be talking about how your word is your bond. There are a lot of people out here that do not understand that your word, your promises, is a mirror and a reflection of your integrity, right? Your character. When you promise or you say you're going to uphold or do something that you're supposed to do and you do not do it, it shines a dark light on you. And we do not want to be out here giving our word to things we know that we are not going to fulfill, right? Because you leave people hanging on the other side. And you don't know how much that favor, that request means to them, okay? So your word is your bond, and it does reflect on the person that you are. This goes for personal relationships. It goes for professional relationships. And you know what? Actually, it also reflects on yourself, the relationship you have with yourself when you don't keep your word to yourself. I know I had started on my Rooted Vines group. I would go on every Sunday and I would do like a DIY. And I was trying to do it every Sunday. And those DIYs, that's a lot of work. I didn't realize how much work it was to do the DIYs, come up with ideas, make sure you have everything so that you could go on that particular day. And I have not done one in a while. And I really wanted to commit to that. And that commitment to myself was broken. And that commitment to my viewers on Rooted Vines was broken, right? They really enjoyed that. And I do want to bring it back. But when you get ready to commit to something for yourself, and this is why self-work is so important. You have to really know what you're able to handle and be truthful with yourself before you go forward, right? If you know that maybe I should have been like, well, maybe that's too much. Let me go and do one Sunday out of the month because there's just too many moving parts for me. I probably would have set myself up for much more success, right? Than just jumping in and saying, I can do all of this. I had good intentions, but good intentions doesn't matter when you give your word. Good intentions doesn't matter when you make a commitment and you don't fulfill it, right? Nobody cares about good intentions at that time because they're waiting on something, right? They have been promised something. They are looking forward to something. And so it really hurts when you fall through and you don't do that thing. Promise keeping, when you're keeping your promises, when you're keeping your commitment, when you can stay true to your word, it really builds successful relationships, right? And so you being able to do that, you have more support. You have more people who will gather around you, who will work with you, who will collaborate with you, because now you keeping your word represents you in a good light. They can automatically trust what you're doing and what you say because they see the fruits by the actions that you back up with those words that come out. A lot of us talk a lot of good game, but at the end of the day, we don't see nothing, right? There's nothing growing. There's no fruit being harvested. Nothing's happening. And so that's a problem, especially in today's society, right? Because they just want to get out here and they want to show this stuff, these illusions, and then they want to speak with authority like they really know or like they're living through this. And 9 times out of 10, they are not. They are not. And they're getting people caught up and people are falling by the wayside because people do not keep their word. They no longer have integrity out here. They no longer have good character, right? They are bearing bad fruits all over the place, right? And so we're having to watch our step and watch what we're listening to and how a person moves. And I tell you right now, if your actions don't line up with your words, then just go on and keep moving because I can't have you in my circle. And when I do something unintentional, but my actions don't match up with my word, I have to be ready to apologize. I got to be able to eat that thing. But I do not want to have someone waiting on the other side when I have promised them or I have agreed to do something for them. So we must watch what we say and we must know ourselves. If it's something that you just can't do, then let them know you can't do that thing. Let them know, I wish I could, but I'm not in the position. Do not ask me because I don't have it right now. I don't have the time. I have too much going on. And it doesn't matter how they receive it, because you have to make sure that you can deliver on whatever you said you're going to deliver on. Okay. The ripple effect of broken promises. Oh gosh. Let's talk about that. The consequences for you not keeping your word. Like I said, it reflects bad on you, right? And it's really hard to clean that up when you're dealing with another person, right? They just feel like you're untrustworthy, even if you're not, right? Even if that's not your normal character, even if you was going through something, when someone is really depending on you and you fail to communicate, because like I said, a lot of people will run the other way instead of just say, hey, I thought I was going to be able to do this. This came up, or this happened, or whatever it may be, but don't just ghost the person and disappear, right? Be able to stand firm on what you promised and say, hey, it's not looking good. I thought I was going to be able to do it, but I can't do it. And I'm so sorry. But if I could do something else, or maybe, and even offer, since you had taken that off the table, offer to help in another capacity, so that they can see that, yeah, you truly do want to help. You're just not blowing me off and leaving me high and dry. I can't help you in this situation, but what if I did this for you? You see what I'm saying? So we want to make sure that that we are keeping our word, because it can lead to a lot of missed opportunities. You never know who someone else knows. Y'all, I can't talk this morning, right? So if you're out here not keeping your word, they may have an opportunity for you. They might be like, somebody may be looking for your services, for your, for information from you, or whatever it may be, but they can't refer you because you have not been trustworthy with them. You don't keep your bond and y'all are friends. I can't refer people to you if I know that you're somebody that's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I don't know if your services will arrive on time. I don't know if they'll do a good job, right? And so opportunities come in many different forms and in many different ways. And if you're out here reflecting that you can't be trustworthy, then you miss out on a lot of opportunities, right? Because you are now representing the person that referred you. And they're going to look crazy because you're out here not keeping your word to people. So we want to make sure that we hold up all the commitments that we give, right? We want to watch what we say, and we want to be honest with people, because restoring your word is very hard. Yes, we all make mistakes. A lot of them are unintentional. And sometimes we do fail to keep our word. Not that we mean to do it. It's just life be life, and sometimes it be smacking you around so hard. You thought you could do that thing. You really did. So the way that you can fix it, and it's going to be over time. Let me tell you something. If you broke somebody's trust, don't be trying to rush them into making them trust you again. This is your issue. This ain't got nothing to do with them. So if you're in a relationship and you done did something and you broke the trust in your relationship, don't go putting it off on them. You deal with yourself, because you're the one that caused the issue. It happens. I don't like that in relationships. I've cheated or I've lied or whatever. When's she gonna fix it? When she does, when he does. Because the problem isn't with them, it's with you. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of them go back to doing the same thing once someone forgives. Trust is hard to rebuild. And once you break it, a lot of times there's no way to go back. That bridge is gone. So you really want to make sure that you are doing right by other people. You want to make sure that you are representing them well, your relationships well. And remember, this is the personal relationships as well as work relationships, okay? Because we've all had those coworkers that are shady, right? And you know who you can go to and who you can't. You know who's going to gossip, who's not. You know who's going to lie and who's not, right? They have reputations already built in because of their character, because of the way that they carry themselves, and that their word is not true. They do not stand on integrity. So we have to be very mindful when we deal with this, okay? We also want to make sure that we are good listeners, that we don't just talk, but we also listen. We listen to give empathy and to connect with the message on a deeper level. Okay. And maybe we have to, go back and reflect why we're not keeping our word. What is going on inside us that we are not able to do what we said we were going to do, other than lifing? Because there are some people out here who will just feed into what you want or your request, going in knowing they can't fulfill it. And maybe it's they want to feel important at that moment. Maybe they want to be seen as they got it all. I'm not sure what it is, because every person has their own vice, right? Every person has their own reason. But do not be that person who purposely goes out to be the hero and you end up being the zero. You can't deliver nothing. Okay? And another thing I wanted to talk on, and this is really the whole reason this message came up. Your bond is not just with agreeing and talking to someone and making arrangements. Your bond also goes into praise and worship. You know, I had to bring the Most High in here. Those of you who are in church, those of you who lead praise and worship, it is very important, if you call it a ministry, that you pick songs that do not have people promising or saying that they're going to do something you know that they can't. Well, maybe you don't know that they can't, but you don't know if everybody can, right? So I always watch the praise and worship songs that I sing, because there's a lot of songs saying, oh, I'll do this and I'll do that and this and that. And those people can't do that. They can't even let go of the vices they got going on. They can't even let go of the people they ain't supposed to be around. They can't let go of the negative thinking. They can't let go. I could go on and on what they can't let go. But you're singing to the Most High with all your heart, with your emotion, that you can let go, that you can follow, that you will be able to get through whatever, right? As it, like out here singing, swinging swords and stuff. And that's not true. And just because it's in a song does not mean that you are not, that your word is not bond just because it's to music. Your word is still bond. Be careful about what you say and what you sing, right? Because now your emotions are tied up. And let me tell you, if you put emotions behind the word with intention, that thing is going out and it's being solidified. It's being stamped. So when you are singing, your word is still your bond. If you are saying that you are going to do something, if you're willing to do something, if you're going to do something, you're willing to do something. And again, this is why music is so important, because even in the mainstream, they have you saying things, repeating things that does not line up with the word of the Most High. And so we're out here saying, I'm this, I'm a B, I'm baddie, I'm a boss, I'm a whatever. These words ring true. They're coming back to you and they're solidifying you, right? So if you don't want to be seen as such, you can't be putting that in with emotions and intention. Then you go out into society and get mad when you are referred to as a boss, as a baddie, as a B, right? But that's what you're putting out. That's what your word is saying. That's what you're bonding to. When you say your word is your bond, that's what you're bonding to. And then you get upset when people address you as such. But like I told you, that unconscious is going to make you right. So as you sing those songs and your word is your bond, you start looking like that. Not only do you start looking like that, you start acting like that. Now you start talking like that. And then you get mad when someone calls you out on it. It's not fair. You have to watch what happens, what you're putting in your mindset. And so even in church, when you are singing, it's the same thing. If you can't follow Whatever the song is saying, I'll follow to the end of time. If you can't do that, don't say that, because just because it's put to music does not mean that's not your word. Does not mean that's not your bond. It still has emotion. It still has intention. The Most High spoke. He had power, intention, and emotion behind that thing, and it happened. We too do the same thing. We have emotion and power, and when we speak, our intentions go out and they come back. They get fulfilled. Whether you see them right at that moment or in the future, it still gets fulfilled. So we really need to watch how we speak to one another. We need to really watch how we make arrangements with each other. If you say you're going to do something, then do it. Make sure your integrity is unquestionable, undeniable. That when someone does business with you, their heart can rest because they know that you are someone who is going to come through for them. There are too many people out here dropping the ball and expecting people to just up and forgive. But that's their MO. They promise a lot of things and then they let you down. So you do not want to be that type of person out there, right? You want to be someone with integrity. You want to make sure that your name stands for something. That when someone hears your name, they say, oh, okay, I know I can trust them. I've seen them work. I know I've heard their conversations, right? So your word is your bond. I wanted to just bring that up today because a lot of people out here got a lot of loose lips and a lot of good intentions that are failing because they refuse to deal with themselves and really look at what they can carry, the amount that they can carry. And a lot of us have a problem saying no. And then when the time comes, we run away, we hide, we duck, and we're doing ourselves a disservice. Not only are we doing someone else a disservice, but we're doing ourselves a disservice. And it's really hard to dig yourself out of a hole when you are continually breaking promises, when you're continually not keeping your word to other people. And so it looks really bad, and it's really a hard mountain to climb to get out of, to prove yourself. Because then from then on, you're going to have to do actions even without being asked to make that, to build that trust back up. And it could be weeks, it could be months, it could be years, it could be decades. And then there's some that you will never be able to repair that, depending on what that word, what that promise was. That bridge will be broken, will be burnt down forever. You won't be able to return. And you will have to understand that, because it would be you that had brought the firewood in to burn the bridge, right? You who set up the dynamite to burn the bridge. You thought this would be simple and easy. Time does not heal all things when it deals with trust. And you can trust me on that. So that is my talk today. Hey, babe, thanks for coming on and supporting me. I love you. Your word is your bond. Make sure that you're out here walking with integrity, speaking with integrity, and living your life with integrity, so that people know that there's something about you and that they're willing to trust you. I'll have to say this one little thing. I remember a long time ago when my little clubbing days, I went to the club and I was sitting in a corner drinking, and there is some people playing pool, and the guy had to go. I guess he had to go to a restroom, and he was like, he came up to me, he said, "You look trustworthy. Can you watch my drink in my spot?" And I thought, out of all these people in here, you come up to me. But that's what you want. You want someone to see your light, even when you're in a place that many lights don't shine, right? So you want to make sure that people feel like you're somebody, you look like somebody I could trust. Like you look like someone I could, that has some integrity. So that's what you want to be, right? That's who you want to be out here. That's who you want to represent, the Most High at all times. So thank you so much for joining me again. All right, you guys take care. I love you.